Hi, quick video today showing you some of the key new features in the latest VMS download. The main thing I want to show you is we have done some work with transactional emailing. For those familiar with the system, you'll see these new icons here. Basically, at a glance, for any contact, you can see if they're a member or not, if there's an email address registered with their name, whether they're opted in for marking, and whether they've been sent a driver activity email. We're finding this really useful. So our sister company, the rFactor, has been using this for the last month or so. And it allows the operators at a glance to see if somebody hasn't given their email, and they can use lines such as, hey guys, if you wanted the link to your laps and telemetry on your phone, just give us an email, we can get that sent to you straight away. And then at the same time, you can also use lines like, hey guys, if you're interested in upcoming offers, discounts, membership, if you opt in, then we can send you those, no problem, you can opt out anytime. I'm going to show you how that works. So I've got rFactor 2 here fired up, you can see that's green. I'm going to allocate myself to pod 1. There's me, pod 1, and there's car on track. Let's turn the AI on for pod 1. Okay, away it goes, the AI driving around the track there. A little bit stuttery because I'm doing this over remote desktop, but otherwise it's fine. And once that AI finishes the lap and that's allocated to me, the system will automatically send the email out with a link to the lap's driver data and telemetry. And we should see this little envelope go green, at which point I will end the demo. So it's a refinement of existing features. We've had this transactional email for a while, but in the spirit that the best process is no process, we've invested some time to configure it so this works straight out of the box. There's no effort at all to configure an email address, to assign a template, create a template. As soon as you install the management system for the first time, or for those who are already operational, when you download and install this new version of VMS, it will just work straight out of the box. Over time, you can tailor that with your own email address, your own custom messages. But we think it's a big step forward that it just works straight out of the box, so you get value straight away and can then have a sensible think about the refinements you want to bring to it. And the other aspect of it is the visualization, that operators can see at a glance who is and who isn't. And say the rFactor have been seeing amazing results there in the massive increase in the number of email addresses they're able to acquire and the number of people who opt in. Especially if you ask them these questions just after they've experienced their first session on your simulators. Okay, of course the car needs to do an out lap and a flying lap. So, all right, well, we've got another lap for me to fill there. The other thing you'll see in this latest download is we have now, with the new rFactor 2, you no longer have to rely on an external batch file to take your registered EMS driver name and push it into the rFactor game. That's now done all entirely by our code through the programming interface. So that, again, is another thing that will work straight out of the box. You simply need to make sure that the drivers you have registered are allocated to the pod before you launch rFactor, so that can work for you. A couple of other small things, but very useful on the account management pages. We've introduced the ability to search and filter by driver class, membership status, a number of useful features like that. Okay, so car just coming up for the end of the lap now. Hopefully we will see this work. And say the email that gets sent, we've got a default one, very generic. Says thank you for visiting your local race car facility today. Here's a link to your laps and telemetry. So, car just finishing the lap, and there we go. The envelope has gone green, and the hover help will now tell me driver activity email sent. This works fine if you allocate the driver before the lap's done, that's fine. If the driver spent a couple of hours at your facility and then they come along, let's say Ayrton Senna here wants to give an email address. If I subsequently add an email address in here, the system's smart enough to spot that there's lapse and it will catch up and get that email sent out. So the sequence of events can happen in any order. All right, I hope you find that useful, see the business value in that. Simply download the latest VMS. As ever, if you want any help with that, do not hesitate to drop me an email, grab a Zoom session. I'm happy to talk you through that. Okay, cheers, bye-bye.